Visualize a world from the height of 4 foot tall. That's wheelchair height. It's a whole different view from down here. Imagine as you sit in your seats, that you are in a wheelchair. Surrender your mind and your body to all sensation and movement from here down. We're all sitting together. Now take that and stretch it to 19 years. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how long I've been sitting down. 2 days ago, I arrived in San Francisco on an airplane, and I was left on that airplane for 20 minutes. Everybody disembarked, the crew changed, and I was still sitting. For I was at the whim of others to help me get out of my seat, and they didn't come. Eventually, they carried me off the airplane. And then I had the challenge of rolling around San Francisco, and I think after 19 years, that's why I've got these guns. I went to a party last night, and I found a parking spot on the flats, not a hill. And I rolled up to the front, and I knew I was prepared. But there were about 30 stairs to ascend to attend this party. And I had this, go-get-it attitude. It's like, okay, Amanda, you can do it, you can do it. And it wasn't all bad because I had 4 really handsome men that showed up. And he carried me, I'm the eternal optimist, and he carried me, 4 of them, carried me up the stairs like the Queen of Sheba. And then I was in the middle of this room in the midst of a skyscraper city of people, all so much taller than me. For my eye level is crotch level. And I look up at chins and nostrils. That's my world. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what it's like to be paralyzed. The world is not flat. It's not paved in beautiful, smooth linoleum like the security blanket of the hospital floor, where I learned to be in a wheelchair and to live my life in a wheelchair. I was 24 years old, and at the prime of my life, I was a ballet dancer for years. I trained in classical. I was the athletics captain of my school. I was a sprinter, a long jumper. I could do anything. I felt invincible. My favorite memory is running on the beach in Australia and feeling the sand squeak in between my toes. I don't have feeling anymore, and I don't have movement. It was on a cold, blustery day in Colorado on the ski slopes of Snowmass Mountain. I crossed my tips. I did a somersault, and in a split second, I shattered 4 vertebrae. An electric current zapped through my legs, and they crumbled on top of me, and there was nothing from here down. I remember it vividly. And not long afterwards, a young doctor, his face screamed medical student. His face was younger than mine. He was sent to deliver the bad news. Amanda, you'll never walk again. It took time for me to turn my wounds into wisdom, for me to overcome my challenges. And with time, I learned to accept. And while my heart grieved for everything it had lost, there was a little inkling of spirit inside of there, a light that was shining, that kept getting brighter and brighter, and that spirit rejoiced for everything I had left. With adaptive technology, I soon learned how to hand cycle, rock climb, paraglide, hang glide, kayak, and I learned how to ski again, and I'm a better skier now than I ever was before. Put me on a mountain. Thank you. Put me on a mountain. Steep and deep is my favorite. It's like, woohoo! And it's my favorite joy to ride a chairlift to the top of the mountain, say a prayer to the wind, and to dance on the snow. Yet nothing has been invented that's enabled me to walk. One of my favorite quotes is, for people without a disability, technology makes things easier. For people with a disability, technology makes things possible. Last year, my mind was blown out of this water. It's a mindset of possibility. I had a phone call from a very compassionate man who had a thick Icelandic accent and a shared common vision of removing limitations to enable people in wheelchairs to live a full life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to a gentleman who changed my life, who expanded my vision, the CEO of Berkeley Bionics. Please welcome Eythor Bender.
Hi. Today we are going to talk about people in wheelchairs and how they strive for maximum living using bionic technology, in this case exoskeletons, wearable robots. But first, let's talk about wheelchairs. The wheelchairs, they have actually amazingly been around not for 500 years, not for 1,000 years, actually for 1,500 years, all the way back to China, in year 500. And what is even amazing about it is that until today still, the wheelchair remains pretty much as the only mobility option for people that sustain paralysis or spinal cord injury, like Amanda. There have been many attempts, orthotic devices, like you see here, as the second option, but they are just too heavy and cumbersome, and people usually don't manage to get around with it too much, more than an hour or two a day. And they usually give up. It's called the gym syndrome. And then we have powered devices that are, though, coming up on the horizon, more at this point in time for amputees. And they are powered, and they are allowing people to do amazing things, even run now in the real Olympics. So what is it? What are the main reasons why this still remains a dream after 1,500 years of wheelchair? It's still just a hope, but not for long, we hope. Power is one of the reasons. Why power? Because if you think about the wearable robot that you put on yourself, it's usually heavy. So how do you design it so that it actually transfers the weight down to the ground? So there's a certain design issue there. Also batteries. You need batteries that carry you around during the whole day. It needs to be easy to use. There needs to be a technology in place that is motors, sensors, batteries that are light enough so that you can actually wear something that is comfortable and efficient during the whole day. something that you actually like to wear. It has to be cool. So there's a lot of design features that need to go into this. In addition to this, it needs to be safe. Can you imagine getting a person up, like Amanda here, after 19 years of being in a wheelchair? That's pretty fascinating in one way, but it's also scary. And we have to make sure that this is absolutely safe. So we are fortunate that here in the Bay Area, where we are, which we sometimes like to refer to as the Bionic Bay, we have a convergence of these technologies and talents coming out from the universities here that are mastering the ability of merging technology with the human being. And we at Berkeley Bionics, we have already started working on this with soldiers. So the power we believe we have solved. We are able to let soldiers carry 200 pounds on the back during the whole day on the mission, walking around, transferring the complete weight, both of the exoskeleton and the weight that they are carrying, into the ground. So the power has been solved. With that in mind, we were very encouraged 3 years ago to go ahead and look at what about people in wheelchairs? Can we use this technology and make it easy enough to use and safe enough so that it can be applied? So we introduced and are about to introduce a new device that's called eLEGS. eLEGS allows you to stand up out of a chair and walk. It's a brand new exoskeleton that you could say, the E stands for electronic exoskeleton, elevating experiences, being alive. We are entering into an era of bionic era, now with a brand new category of bionic products, exoskeletons, that have amazing potential. It's going into a landscape of bionic products that are actually already there, but it is for amputees. It can restore vision. We have cameras today that can restore vision of people. We have cochlear implants that can, you can start hearing and so on. So there are exciting technologies there already. Exoskeletons is just the latest one. To solve the ease of use issue with eLEGS particularly, let me explain a little bit to you what we did. With eLEGS, we have a device that is very easy to get into. You can actually, if you have upper body strength and hand strength, you can actually slide into it by yourself and power up. In addition to that, we designed it that way that in terms of the walking, we had to really think through how do you get a person that is paralyzed to give signal to a robot in terms of how it should walk you. So the way we went about that is that we put sensors into the crutches that actually are used for balancing. And those sensors, they send signal when you move your crutch forward to an onboard computer sitting on the back that further drives 4 motors that are sitting at the hips and the knees and moves you forward in a very natural way. So it's completely non-invasive, which also helps us to get this out quickly because FDA and so on, they don't like it when we go too much into the body. So talking about FDA and safety, how did we go about addressing the safety in addition to having it non-invasive? And here it's really about, because you want to, the first customers we take this to, or the first users, we want to be have them in a safe environment as possible. And the safest environment we could think about were all the leading rehabilitation clinics around the country. So we are starting this year working with 10 clinics, and further next year they will be expanding to 100 clinics where we will introduce eLEGS as a mobility option to go from walking to walking after an injury. Then further, we will take eLEGS and introduce it into homes, but under medical supervision. There will be somebody spotting the person behind. And then onwards, in 2013, our mission is really to introduce this as a home version, as a personal version for somebody to take home. Well, with that said, I would like to introduce you again, Amanda Boxtel, this time walking.
Thank you! Really cool! Thank you!
Isn't this amazing?
The coolest thing is that I get to stand up and you're all sitting. What a great role reversal. And Eythor, I'm looking at you eye to eye. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
Can I have a hug?
Here we go.
Oh, thank you. That's the one. It's the one thing that I miss the most is standing up eye to eye and having that blessed heart-to-heart hug.
I see we are running a little bit out of time, but I know that everybody would probably love to hear your experience and what you think maybe about the future for eLEGS.
The future for eLEGS will just, it turns the impossible into possible. And I will be able to walk off that aircraft on my own 2 legs with an outer shell. And I will be able to stand up one day and slow dance chest to chest with someone that I love. I will be able to hike in the mountains in Colorado where I live. With bionic technology, anything is possible.
And thinking about maximum living? What does that mean to you now?
Maximum living? Oh my gosh, Eythor, just to be walking and tall in my 5'7" frame, now that's feeling alive.
So I'm going to introduce him now. With that said, I would actually, at the end here, like to introduce to you to our local test pilots, the individuals that are now already testing eLEGS with us here in the Bay Area. So let's have on stage Sarah, Tamara, Jerry, Jason, and Fernanda.
Come on, team.
So we are working, they're so good, they come in, every day we have somebody there testing with us. These are the pioneers, these are the ones who are striving forward towards a maximum living for somebody living in a wheelchair today, but not for long. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.